What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Young, Black, and Vegan. Today, I am in South Carolina at A Piece of Soul, and let me tell you, the Southern hospitality is real. They gave me like 18 plates. There's no way I'm gonna be able to eat all of this, but I'm definitely gonna eat as much as possible. I'm sitting with the owner, Folami. Folami, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm so glad you made it down.
Oh, of course, I had to. I appreciate the food. She's not eating today. She's sipping on a drink, but I'm gonna dive in. But let's start off by telling me what's the history and story behind this place.
We were actually one of the first vegan restaurants here in the Southeast. My father opened the restaurant in 2005 as Lamb's Bread Vegan Cafe. I took over ownership in 2014, rebranded in 2018 as A Piece of Soul, and we have been going at it ever since.
I just gotta pause.
Sure.
I just ate the greens.
Did you now?
Greens, fire. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to diving in. I got the mac and cheese, this is cabbage.
Purple cabbage.
Purple cabbage. Got the collard greens.
Brown basmati rice.
Brown basmati rice. What's this right here?
That is the barbecue spare rib.
We're about to dive into these barbecue spare ribs real quick.
Come on down south now.
Yo.
That's what
Worth
you
the
need.
drive to come check this place out. So make sure you come hit up A Piece of Soul. And you grew up vegetarian?
I did.
And eventually when you became adult, you transitioned fully over to the vegan lifestyle. But you said like cheese was the hardest thing to give up?
Well, cheese was one of the last things to give up for sure. And even now, like we have a million things we can do vegan with cheese, but cheese just has a distinct taste that it's just cheese. So you just have to be ready to let it go. But I was raised, I've never eaten meat. So that part of my life was just, a non-issue. And then, when I got to college, I just decided no more cheese as well.
Okay, but you do things with vegan cheese. So that's a big thing that I hear from a lot of people is they can't give up cheese. What, in your opinion, are the best vegan cheese alternatives that you've found?
Well, scratch made is always best, of course, and that's what we use in our mac and cheese. But there are several really, really good brands, especially now. The market is full of them. Violife has a really good one. Chow. Those are my two favorites at the moment.
Okay.
Those are the ones that I use most often. Actually, Follow Your Heart too.
For parents out there who want to raise a vegan child but they don't really know how do you ensure that the kid gets everything they need on a vegan diet?
Well, to be honest, whole foods and whole foods, fruit and vegetables and grains like beans and rice are the perfect protein. So that really eliminates the how are you getting your protein argument. The plants that the animals that you eat is where they get their nutrients from. You're just kind of skipping the middleman. So you can definitely get all of the nutrients you need from whole foods, from grains, from veggies, from, beans, Everything you need pretty much is provided for you without animals.
Right, and so kids growing up stay sick because they're playing with other kids. Now raising a vegan son and then growing up vegetarian yourself, did you find you or he was sick as much as other kids, or? No,
not sickly at all. The foods that we eat and also the herbs that we, drink and include in our diet all help to build your immune system. And so you're a little more resistant when the bug comes around. And if you catch something, you can fight it off a lot quicker as well.
Okay, now break down drinking the herbs. What type of herbs are you drinking and how? Just throwing it in water?
Well, no, mostly teas or tinctures. Echinacea, for example, is a really good herb that builds the immune system. Has very little adverse effects, like if you're already taking medication or something like that. Usually it's one of those herbs that doesn't interact with other things. Now, there are people who have allergies, of course, but by and large, echinacea you can take as a supplement, and it comes in a powdered form, or you can make a tea from it and just add it to your daily diet. Just, simple little things that you can do to build your immune system. Even if you aren't vegan, that's just, one of those things that you can do to help improve your health.
Growing up, you ate a lot of soy and tempeh. Obviously, we hear the soy debates going on. What can you tell me about soy from your own experience and then raising, I'm sure your son ate a lot of it as well, right?
I'm familiar with both sides of that argument. And I am not one of the people who says that, what my way is the right way.
Right.
It has been my experience, and from the studies that I am familiar with, soy, the biggest complaint about soy is that it has estrogen. And so it may feminize you, or it wreaks havoc on the hormones in the body. It's actually phytoestrogen, and it doesn't really react in the same way as estrogen does in the body. Too much of anything is not great for you.
Right.
So while we serve soy, and I actually enjoy soy, and like I said, I'm old school vegan, so we ate tofu, we eat tempeh, and I haven't seen any adverse effects, of course, on my health, and neither, his either.
What would you say to somebody that says being vegan or a vegan lifestyle is expensive?
I would say it is expensive, but I would also say that going to the doctor after you have, eaten a different way is probably more expensive. I see veganism, plant-based eating as preventative health. Certainly you aren't exposing yourself to high blood pressure, diabetes, some of the things that come from eating lots of meat, right? So you're cutting that out completely. Now, of course, I serve Southern comfort food. So
Man, I'm so comfortable right now. This food is so good. I can't even lie.
Definitely. So, I'm not suggesting that you should eat even my vegan fried chicken every day, right?
Right.
But if we eat a balanced diet and we eliminate some of those things that cause clogged arteries and things of that nature, then you know that you're on the right path. And so, what isn't expensive anymore? Like eggs are like $7 a dozen or something ridiculous at this point.
Right.
But the investment that you're making in your health will definitely pay off in the long run.
Yeah, and I always look at it too when people say it's expensive. It's like, what type of food are you buying?
Exactly.
Because if you're buying more of the processed food and you're eating out, yeah, it's
gets
expensive.
Very
that's
true.
like if you're cooking at the house. So I think a lot of people say that they're not taking into consideration, like, are they cooking? If you're eating out every day, it's expensive to eat out non-vegan food every day as well. So
Definitely.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and if we consider, like, okay, you spend $5 and you get 5 different things to eat, you gotta think about how much that, you know what I mean? Like if they can afford to serve you 5 different items for $5, the nutritional value can't be that great. You know what I mean?
Right. Somebody who's looking to transition to a vegan lifestyle, what are the 5 staples that they should either have in their kitchen or they should add to their diet?
Hopefully they love beans. You definitely want to get beans, pintos, red beans, black beans. There's a variety of beans, so you aren't eating the exact same thing every day. And that's what most people who try to go vegan, eventually get to that kind of roadblock. Like, man, I'm tired of eating the same thing, and it's just because you haven't figured out exactly what it is that you need. And the things that you can have. So I'd say beans. I'd say brown rice. If you don't want to do brown rice, there's always quinoa, which is extra vegan. But start slow and get there. But whatever whole grain you like, maybe couscous, any of those things. So definitely some grains, right? So we got our beans, we got our rice. Then we want to make sure we're doing leafy green vegetables. Maybe collards or mustard greens or turnips, spinach, anything, whichever ones you like. You want to keep that on hand. And also a green leaf lettuce or kale, anything that you can make a nice fresh salad with, right? Nuts, if you don't have an allergy. Nuts are a quick way. Walnuts give you omega-3s that most people usually send you to fish for. Right. But the walnuts have omega-3s in them. You can do pecans, you can do pistachios, and you're getting that protein, you're getting that energy you need. 5th, I would say just some really good water. It doesn't have to be alkaline necessarily, but some spring water, some fresh water, so that make sure you're hydrated as well.
Right. So I've been vegan since for like 8 years now, right? Acne was crazy. Did you find that your son or yourself when you were growing up vegetarian went through a phase of having bad acne? Because once I went vegan, like even as an adult I had acne, but then when I went vegan, like skin cleared
It
up.
looks amazing.
And thank you,
You're
thank you.
welcome.
But I still know when I eat a lot of junk food,
Notice it.
then I'll start to break out. So that keeps me from that. So did you kind of find that was his experience or your experience?
Not really. And it could just be great genes, but I would like to attribute some of it to diet as well. Now, you know, he was a teenager, of course, and there are chips, and chips are made of potatoes, which are vegan. So he, you know, he would go off on a junk food binge every now and then, and you could definitely tell a difference. But that's just your body detoxing. What you don't get out of there is going to come out some kind of way. So sometimes on the skin, you know, but he didn't have serious acne. Just, you know, the occasional hormonal, you know, I'm growing up, I'm a boy stuff. That's it.
This is amazing, everything on this plate.
Thank
What
you.
else we got to
Oh, well,
to try out?
you came all the way to South Carolina, honey. You gotta try some vegan fried chicken.
The vegan fried chicken, the bucket of
Absolutely,
chicken.
yes.
We dive into this right
Yes,
here.
this is our festival killer.
So now, what is this made out of?
The protein is made of soy.
Okay.
And it is battered traditionally because I am in South Carolina,
Right, right.
and I can't trick people. These people know what fried chicken is, you know?
Yeah.
So, Food Network, did you hear that crunch, y'all? Okay. We are one of America's top 20 vegan restaurants in regard to the Food Network. We have won Best Vegetarian Menu and Best Vegan Burger here in Columbia, South Carolina. Recently we were nominated for the Veg News Best Soul Food, which is awesome because, you know, we're South Carolina. You know, people will miss us. That's
This chicken,
yeah.
it's fire, and it's not like heavy. Like I feel like I can
Exactly.
probably eat half of this
Eat a
bucket right
couple
now.
of 'em. Yeah, get on in there.
Definitely. Even though I've been vegan, I can still stand to eat more vegetables.
For sure.
What's the secret to really making vegetables taste good? I mean, obviously, you want to eat them raw as much as possible,
Yeah,
but
ain't
you know,
nothing wrong with a little seasoning now. Even the
Right,
raw vegans
right.
add seasoning.
Yeah,
so,
right.
you know, that's in our DNA. You gotta have a little pizzazz. So seasoning is really the key to anything. There are, you know, hundreds of seasonings. There's seasonings if you want something to taste like tacos or fajitas, or, you know, there are Italian seasonings. So just lay it on with the seasonings. That's always the key.
you don't got to give no trade secrets away,
I'm
right?
not.
Not at all. But if I want to make like some cabbage or something, what type of seasonings would you suggest?
Well, regular steamed cabbage is an easy one because the cabbage is so tasty that it kind of does what it needs to do by itself. Regular green cabbage has like a mellow flavor. So you can bring out the sweet notes in it, you can bring out the savory notes in it, and it doesn't need much oil. So once you chop it up, you rinse it. You can start with a little oil in the pan if you like. Grapeseed is always good, maybe sesame if you want to give it a little Asian feel. And just either stir fry it or let it cook down with just the tiniest bit of water because cabbage makes its own water also. But I would do a little garlic powder, a little onion powder, a little black pepper. That's the simplest way. A little sea salt on top. That's the easiest and the tastiest way. If you want to amp it up a notch, you can add just a pinch of ground mustard to it to give it a little tang. And you know, down south we put vinegar on everything. So we do. So once it's done, you can add a little vinegar, red wine vinegar even, just to give it some flair. Cabbage steaks even. And that way, you know, you can bake them and you can just sprinkle a little, so slice them up like you were making steak,
Okay.
lay them flat in the pan, drizzle a little olive oil, same seasonings, garlic powder, onion powder, whatever you're feeling, and stick them in the oven. I would check it after about 7 to 10 minutes to see if it's tender and if you need to flip it over. And if you want to, you know, sometimes you want a little char, you want to braise it, you can turn the heat up a little bit more to get some crisp edges on it.
What's like a salt alternative that they could use when they want to kind of pull that out of their diet but still want that flavor?
So if you're avoiding salt because you have like a medical issue where you should not have salt, then there are sea beans, there are Bragg's aminos, things of that nature. However, sea salt, like natural Celtic sea salt, pink Himalayan salt, actually has minerals in it that your body needs. So we're not asking you to overdo it, but once you stop eating actual table salt, the sodium chloride that's kind of a chemical that's made in a lab, sea salt isn't so rough on the body. So season lightly, just with a better salt.
Okay.
You know, the salt that's 68 cents on the grocery store shelf,
Don't do
probably
it.
not the one you want.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Can't get the Dollar Tree salt.
Don't
you know?
do that. The pink Himalayan is going to cost you about $8. That's how you know. You know what I mean?
Is there anything else that I haven't asked that you want to share, or you think that it's important to know? Anybody who's not vegan, but they're thinking about it, they're on the fence.
Give it a try. Start small, even if it's just one day. And don't put pressure on yourself. If you fall off the wagon, just try again with the next meal. Nobody has a gun to your head, you know what I mean? Like, it's a decision that you're making for your health. So even if you aren't able to quit eating meat cold turkey, they have meatless Mondays. Just, you know, pick a meal of the day and just decide that this is going to be my meatless meal for the day.
You have to come to South Carolina and try this food. It's amazing. This has been a great interview. I appreciate you, and I'm about to keep diving in. I still got to try this chicken sandwich, but like, I wish I had enough room to eat all of this because it's very good. Yeah.